Hey there, MBTI lovers. Welcome back to MBTI Spectrum, your go-to place to dive deep into the wild world of personality types. Now, today's episode is going to hit differently. We're not just talking about who we're drawn to, but more importantly, why we avoid certain people. Have you ever wondered why some people just rub you the wrong way? Or why certain personalities seem to click while others completely miss the mark? Well, it all comes down to your MBTI type. And today, we're uncovering the hidden reasons behind it. Whether you're a deep-thinking INTJ or an energetic ESFP, this one's going to speak to you. Get ready to understand why your type might avoid certain people and how these instincts shape your relationships. Stick around to the end. Trust me, you'll want to hear the unique reasons behind each personality's social preferences. Ready to get started? Let's dive in. 1. ENTJ, the visionary leader. First up, let's talk about the ENTJ, the natural-born leader, the one who's always 3 steps ahead. You know the type, efficient, decisive, always with a plan. But here's the thing, ENTJs can't stand inefficiency. You're probably thinking, who doesn't hate wasting time? But for ENTJs, it's more than just impatience. It's their drive to achieve and move forward that shapes how they view the world. They avoid people who don't share that level of focus, those who drag their feet, and more importantly, people who don't have any ambition. Imagine trying to build an empire with someone who's happy just sitting on the sidelines. That's how an ENTJ feels about people who lack a sense of purpose. They need people who challenge them, push them, and are just as focused on the future as they are. If you're not up for the challenge, the ENTJ will make sure you know it. 2. ENFJ, the empathic leader. Now let's move to the ENFJ, the compassionate leader who can make you feel like the most important person in the room. These guys and gals are all about connecting, understanding, and helping others grow. But here's the catch. They avoid self-centered people, those who only care about themselves and don't take the time to truly see others. ENFJs have a unique ability to sense the emotional needs of others. And when someone isn't willing to reciprocate that empathy, it's a major turnoff. They can't stand people who are manipulative, who take advantage of others' kindness, or who play emotional games. They crave authentic mutual connections. If they sense inauthenticity, they're out. An ENFJ doesn't want to invest their time and energy into someone who isn't emotionally invested in the relationship. They need depth, not superficiality. 3. ESFJ, the nurturer. Next up, we have the ESFJ, the social butterfly, the nurturer who just wants to make sure everyone feels loved and accepted. They're the ones planning your birthday party, checking in to see if you're okay, and generally making life a little brighter. But here's the thing, they avoid people who don't respect social norms. For ESFJs, a sense of harmony and respect for others is vital. They cannot stand when people behave rudely or disregard etiquette, especially in social settings. To them, it's all about making everyone feel included, and if someone is acting selfishly, being rude, or just downright disrespectful, they'll shut down. They want people who understand the importance of making others feel comfortable, and if you're the type to stir the pot or cause unnecessary drama, you might just find an ESFJ avoiding you. 4. ESTJ, the pragmatic organizer. Let's talk about the ESTJ, the dependable, rule-abiding realist who loves to keep things organised. ESTJs are driven by order, structure and efficiency. And there's one thing that gets under their skin: disorganisation. ESTJs avoid people who can't keep things in order, who forget commitments, or who fail to meet expectations. They take pride in their ability to stick to schedules, follow through, and get things done right. If someone is unreliable, irresponsible, or consistently unprepared, you'll see the ESTJ put up a wall. Imagine working alongside someone who can't get their act together. That's how ESTJs feel about people who lack discipline. They value reliability above all, and if you're not delivering on that, they're not sticking around. 5. ENTP, the inventive thinker. Next, we have the ENTP, the creative thinker who's always exploring new ideas, looking for the next big concept. These types thrive on innovation, debate, and intellectual engagement. But here's the deal. ENTPs avoid people who can't think critically. For ENTPs, conversations are where the magic happens. They need people who are open to challenging their ideas and who don't just nod along in agreement. If you're someone who just accepts things at face value or refuses to think outside the box, an ENTP will find it hard to connect. INTPs can't stand being around people who are intellectually stagnant or not willing to engage in thoughtful debate. If you're the type who likes to just go along with whatever's being said without adding anything of value, don't be surprised if the ENTP zones out or cuts the conversation short. 6. ENFP, the free spirit. And now we come to the ENFP, the passionate, free-spirited and creative type who is always looking for new experiences. ENFPs are driven by curiosity and a deep sense of possibility, but guess what? They avoid people who try to control them. ENFPs hate being boxed in. They need freedom in every sense, freedom to explore, to make their own decisions, and to follow their own path. People who try to micromanage, control, or impose rigid schedules on them will see the ENFP pulling away. They're drawn to those who encourage their individuality, not those who try to limit it. If you're someone who needs everything to be structured and predictable, an ENFP will likely bounce. They want to spread their wings, and if you're holding them back, they're gone. 7. ESFP, the entertainer. Let's talk about the ESFP, the life of the party, the one who's always up for fun and living in the moment. But what do they avoid? People who are too serious or who take life too seriously. ESFPs are all about having fun, staying in the moment, and soaking up every bit of life's experiences. If someone is overly rigid, overly serious, or just can't lighten up, an ESFP will find it hard to connect. Life's too short to be bogged down with negativity, and ESFPs need people who can match their spontaneous energy. If you're all about planning every moment and stressing over the details, don't be surprised if an ESFP takes a step back. They want to live, laugh and experience life without being weighed down by the serious side of things. 8. ESTP, the action-oriented pragmatist. Here we go, the ESTP, the thrill-seeker, the doer, the action-oriented individual who loves diving headfirst into new experiences. But there's one thing that drives them away: people who overthink everything. ESTPs thrive on action and living in the present moment. They don't have time to sit around analysing every little detail or worrying about what-ifs. If someone is constantly second-guessing themselves or caught in analysis paralysis, an ESTP will quickly become frustrated. They want people who can take decisive action, not those who get stuck in their own head. If you overthink everything, the ESTP will make it clear that they prefer action over words. 9. INTJ, the mastermind. The INTJ, the mastermind, the strategist. Always planning, always thinking several steps ahead. So who do they avoid? People who are emotionally unpredictable. INTJs are incredibly logical and strategic. They value efficiency and rational thought above all else. If someone is constantly overwhelmed by their emotions, acting impulsively, or letting their feelings take over, the INTJ finds it draining. They need relationships built on understanding, logic and planning. If you can't keep your emotions in check, or if you disrupt their structured life with emotional chaos, you're not likely to stay in the INTJ's inner circle for long. 10. INFJ, the advocate. Let's talk about the INFJ, the rare and introspective advocate who is driven by a sense of purpose and a deep desire to help others. INFJs tend to avoid people who lack depth, those who don't value genuine, meaningful conversations. INFJs crave authenticity. They want to connect on a deep, emotional level with people who share their values. Shallow conversations or people who can't see beyond surface-level interactions aren't for them. If someone isn't willing to engage on a meaningful level, the INFJ won't hesitate to retreat. For INFJs, it's all about building authentic, purposeful connections with those who understand their depth and perspective. 11. ISFJ, the protector. Now, let's talk about the ISFJ, the quiet yet deeply caring protector. These types are always putting others first, looking after their loved ones, and creating a sense of safety and stability. But here's the catch. ISFJs avoid people who are disrespectful or inconsiderate. ISFJs value harmony, respect, and kindness in every relationship. They are highly sensitive to how people treat others, and they can't stand those who are rude, dismissive, or act without thinking of the impact on others. If someone's behaviour is inconsiderate or hurtful, especially when it's directed at people they care about, an ISFJ will instinctively distance themselves. They're looking for people who have empathy and respect for others' feelings, and if they don't feel that from you, they'll quietly remove themselves from the situation. 12. ISTJ, the Logistician. Next up, we have the ISTJ, the embodiment of responsibility and structure. ISTJs are grounded, reliable, and committed to doing things the right way. So, who do they avoid? People who are disorganized or don't take their commitments seriously. For ISTJs, the world runs on a simple principle: accountability. They thrive on routines, plans, and deadlines. If someone is unreliable, unprepared, or constantly breaking promises, the ISTJ will take a step back. Trust and dependability are the foundation of any relationship for them, and if they can't rely on you, they won't waste their time. You'll never find an ISTJ getting close to someone who doesn't honour their word. They need people who show up and keep their commitments, just as they do. 13. INTP, the Thinker. Now we're diving into the INTP, the deep thinker, the intellectual explorer. INTPs live in their heads, constantly exploring new ideas, theories and perspectives. But there's one thing they avoid: people who can't think critically. INTPs thrive on intellectual stimulation and deep, thought-provoking conversations. If someone's thinking feels shallow or predictable to them, an INTP will lose interest quickly. They don't have time for people who accept things without question or who don't challenge their own ideas. For the INTP, relationships are all about stimulating the mind. If you're not pushing their intellect, you're likely to get left behind. They want someone who can go toe-to-toe with them in debate and who questions the world just as they do. If you're all about the surface level, don't expect them to stick around. 14. INFP, the Idealist. The INFP, the Dreamer, the Deep Idealist. INFPs are driven by a profound sense of values and a desire to create a better world. But here's the thing: INFPs avoid people who are cynical or dismissive of others' feelings. INFPs see the world through a lens of possibility. They're constantly striving to live up to their ideals and seeking others who do the same. If someone is overly negative, cynical, or simply refuses to see the good in people, the INFP will likely pull away. They need relationships that nurture their creativity and belief in a better world. If someone tramples on their values or lacks empathy, they'll choose solitude over toxic interactions. For an INFP, emotional depth and authenticity are paramount, and they won't waste their time on anything less. 15. ISFP, the Adventurer. Now let's dive into the ISFP, the creative, artistic and quietly adventurous soul. ISFPs love exploring life at their own pace, finding beauty in the little moments. But guess what? They avoid people who are too controlling. For ISFPs, freedom is everything. They need the space to express themselves creatively and follow their own instincts without interference. If someone tries to impose strict rules or tell them how to live their life, the ISFP will retreat into their own world. They need people who respect their autonomy and give them the freedom to express themselves. If you're too rigid, too controlling, or too quick to offer unsolicited advice, you'll find the ISFP pulling away. 16. ISTP, the Virtuoso. Finally, let's talk about the ISTP, the hands-on problem-solving virtuoso. ISTPs are all about action. They like to fix things, solve problems, and live in the moment. But they tend to avoid people who are overly dramatic or emotionally overwhelming. For ISTPs, practicality is key. They solve problems with logic and hands-on action, and they tend to keep their emotions in check. When someone is excessively emotional, dramatic, or unable to keep a level head in tough situations, the ISTP will start to pull away. They prefer calm, clear-headed individuals who can deal with reality in a straightforward way. If you bring unnecessary drama or let your emotions dictate your actions, an ISTP will likely find themselves stepping back. For them, life's about getting things done without all the unnecessary emotional baggage. And there you have it, folks. We've just explored why each MBTI type avoids certain people, and the truth is it's all about what each type values and needs. Each personality type has its own way of interacting with the world, and understanding why they pull away from certain people can give you deeper insight into your own relationships. But here's the thing. This isn't just about avoiding people. It's about creating connections that truly resonate. We all have our preferences, our boundaries, and our triggers, and the more we understand those, the better we can navigate our relationships, whether they're with friends, family, or even romantic partners. What about you? Do you find yourself avoiding certain types? Or perhaps you've realised why you might be avoided by others? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let us know if you agree with the traits we discussed, or if there's anything else you'd add. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the MBTI types, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to MBTI Spectrum. You won't want to miss the next video where we uncover more hidden truths about your personality. Until next time, remember, understanding yourself and others is the key to building stronger, more meaningful connections. Thanks for tuning in to MBTI Spectrum. We'll catch you in the next episode.